Live-action puppetry is an art form that's rarely used for mainstream cinema nowadays, but it has a charm and magic to it, a tangibility that makes us believe in a physical presence. However, many assume that puppetry is limited to Thunderbirds or Jim Henson's The Muppets and Sesame Street, when really, puppetry is a very broad filmmaking technique that encompasses not just marionette and hand, but also motor mechanics, bodysuit acting, and remote control animatronics. In this show, I will highlight the best and the worst that puppet cinema has to offer, but trying to keep an open mind about what I count as puppetry. Because when it comes down to it, live-action puppetry is the art of bringing an inanimate object to life while a camera rolls. Welcome, one and all, to the world of Puppet Panic. Men in Black International is now out in cinemas, but I would like to rewind to 1997 to talk about the original Men in Black movie. Based on the comics created by Lowell Cunningham, Men in Black centers on NYPD cop James Edwards, played by Will Smith, who chases down a culprit only to realize that he's an alien in disguise. This incident draws the attention of Men in Black operative Agent K, played by Tommy Lee Jones, who offers James the chance to become an MIB agent. After mulling it over until the sun sets, James agrees to don the suit, having his name changed to Agent J and being required to cut off all contacts. Meanwhile, a giant cockroach alien has crashed down onto Earth and stolen the skin of a hillbilly called Edgar, played by Vincent D'Onofrio. This roach wants to start a war to feed his race with the carnage of bodies. He plans to steal a galaxy from the Archelian race, which is located on the Prince's cat's collar. It's up to J and K to work out what's happening while trying to stay discreet, so that they can protect Earth from being caught in the middle of this space war. This movie is like some kind of miracle, magical ingredients mixed together to create a top-tier family blockbuster movie. You don't see daring recipes like this coming out of the oven this good that often. The creamy center of this film's pie is the chemistry between Tommy Lee Jones as K and Will Smith as J.
All right, Beatrice, there was no alien. Flash of light you saw in the sky was not a UFO. Swamp gas from a weather balloon was trapped in a thermal pocket and refracted the light from Venus.
Well, wait a minute. So you just flash that thing, it erases her memory, and you just make up a new one?
A standard issue neuralizer.
And that weak-ass story is the best you can come up with.
It's what makes the film one of the best buddy movies ever made. The contrast between K's dry, deadpan veteran and J's youthful, cocky rookie is the core essence of the comedy. These two couldn't be any more different than each other, but it's their dynamic that holds the movie together. Watching J acting too cool for his own shoes while K stares back in tired disappointment is just hilarious. But behind the disagreements and put-downs is a growing bond between two different generations. There's a subtextual father-son sort of relationship going on, with Jay looking up to K for guidance and support, even though a big part of him thinks that he's got everything figured out already. Despite K's grouchy exterior, there's still a part of him that believes in his rookie partner. He was the one who chose him after all. He sees something there.
He's got a real problem with authority.
So do I. But this kid ran down a cephalopoid. On foot, boss. That's got to be tough enough.
Let's hope you know what you're doing.
While most applicants went into the MIB exams with one-track motives, as their minds had been drilled with military instincts, Jay approached every test with a more open mind. And it's this level of observation skill that will fit a role that requires space alien control.
Well, first I was gonna pop this guy hanging from the street light, and then I realized, he's just working out. And how would I feel if somebody come running in the gym, bust me in my ass while I'm on a treadmill? Then I saw this snarling beast guy, and I noticed he had a tissue in his hand. I realized, he's not snarling, he's sneezing. Ain't no real threat there. Then I saw little Tiffany. I'm thinking, 8-year-old white girl, middle of the ghetto, bunch of monsters, this time of night with quantum physics books. She about to start some shit, Zed.
Not every space alien is a dangerous threat, and not every human is who they seem they might be, because things won't always seem what they look like. With this in mind, there's another depth to Kay and Jay's partnership, an unmentioned sense of respect for each other, which is what makes us care about them sticking together. This film's strength is its two leads, so when one might get killed, our hearts start to race, fearing that the aspect we love about this movie will come to an end. This film has a thematic focus on secrets, from alien disguises to the truth about conspiracy theories. But what I love more than anything is how little we actually learn about Jay and Kay themselves. Sure, we get to know their personalities, tics, and triggers, but their backgrounds before joining the MIB are left quite vague. This makes everything that we do learn about them all the more interesting. When Kay proposes that Jay joins the MIB, he spends a whole day thinking about the offer. What does this mean? Well, perhaps he's looking over his whole career, or maybe he's seeing if it's worth disconnecting with friends and family. Little nuanced moments like this can actually make a character much deeper. It's also hinted that Kay left a possible wife before joining the MIB. It's this brief scene that gives us a glimpse into the softer side of Kay, letting us know that he's not just a grouchy veteran agent. He's a heartbroken man conflicted between a special duty to his planet and his emotional past. I think that's what makes this film so unique compared to most buddy movies. The Men in Black establishment isn't your typical field. It's strangely unorthodox, and what they ask of their employees is quite the demand. The imaginative sci-fi twist to everything and secretive regulations that need to be followed stop this film from falling into the trap of being yet another cliché law enforcement movie. The criminals that these agents face aren't your run-of-the-mill street corner bad guys. Jay and Kay are up against a giant cockroach wearing the flesh of a dead redneck, hell-bent on keeping a war going to feed his race. I love how the cockroach looks like he's struggling to wear the suit of a human, as if he's suffering and uncomfortable. Rick Baker's sickly makeup and Vincent D'Onofrio's rubbery off-kilter performance help make the cockroach seem like an alien who isn't confident posing as a human.
Oh, you idiot! You don't get it! I've won! It's over! You're milk suckers! You don't matter! In fact, in a few seconds you won't even be matter!
The fact that most other aliens have adapted to their disguises just fine helps to show how unconfident the cockroach is in his suit. Maybe it's because he's never had to wear a human's flesh before. Or perhaps the other aliens just have more comfortable disguises, ones that aren't rotting. While there is some humor to come out of how unnaturally awkward the roach feels posing as a human, he also has a lot of effective menace as a villain. Even though this is a family movie, the film isn't afraid to show the cockroach's kills, which are actually quite brutal. It helps that actor Vincent D'Onofrio has a very tall and large stature, body frame that adds to the villain's imposing threat. Another thing that makes this film remarkable is how much it breaks the alien invasion movie mold. Most films about space creatures attacking Earth are about panicking humans trying to escape, the military being brought in to fight them, and all the other cliches we expect. But because this film is about secretive investigation, those predictable expectations aren't present, resulting in a far more unusual and nuanced take on the alien invasion genre, where action is downplayed in favor of discreet control and reserved only for times where it seems necessary.
We do not discharge our weapons in view of the public!
Man, we ain't got time for this cover-up bullshit. I don't know whether or not you've forgotten, but there's an alien battle cruiser about to...
There's always an alien battle cruiser or a Carillion death ray or an intergalactic plague that's about to wipe out life on this miserable little planet. The only way these people get on with their happy lives is they do not know about it.
Like with most family blockbuster movies, we do get a love interest for our lead in the form of a mortician called Laurel. But she's not the kind of character you think she is. There is some attraction between her and Jay, but it's mainly Jay who wants to act on it.
What do you think?
Very interesting. She got a real Queen of the Undead thing going.
Of the body.
Great body.
The dead body.
Laurel may end up being a damsel in distress at one point, but that's not to say that she's some brainless, disposable character.
That's your cat?
Yes, it is now. It came in with the body. Okay, dive right in. I'm sure he won't mind. You have really pretty eyes.
She's charming, intelligent, calm, contemplative, and professional. I love her intrigue and interest regarding the unraveling of these alien secrets. Heck, she gets to shoot down the giant cockroach in the finale, proving that she's in the same league as these agents, and foreshadowing where the film wants to take her character next. Production designer Bo Welch makes the MIB headquarters look corporate and normal to help audiences believe in the possibility of a Men in Black department. But Welch also keeps everything looking very retro too, so it appears like a place founded in the 50s or 60s. This same mindset is also applied to the weapons as well. They're slick and cool, but also kind of look like they're from a 50s sci-fi movie. While composer Danny Elfman, who is renowned for having a lot of personality in his music, brings a quirky strangeness to the score, fitting the themes of space aliens, secretive agencies, and conspiracy mysteries. His music really immerses the audience into the weird world of being a Men in Black agent. So, what about the puppetry for this movie? I'm so glad that I decided to do a Puppet Panic episode on this movie, because man do I love Rick Baker's creature effects for this film. Rick's imagination is astounding. He really pushed for creative, varied designs for these aliens, and the final results are some of the best movie puppetry ever. Sometimes it's even hard to tell whether something is an animatronic or computer animation. The puppetry is that impressive and realistic. These puppets have an immensely organic believability to them. The film doesn't overindulge in the alien effects, letting them only be used when the narrative deems them necessary. They're never seen as a gimmick or novelty. After all, these aliens are meant to be staying in disguise on Earth. So when we get to see one of Rick Baker's creature effects, the more we appreciate them. The worms are the fan-favorite aliens, cheeky insectoid creatures who have adapted quite well to working in an office. The worm puppets can't leave their spot, but this restraint helps Rick be more creative.
How you doing, fellas?
Oh, shit. Okay.
That's not decaf, is it?
Viennese cinnamon.
Oh, don't tell me we only got that powdered stuff with cream again. I hate that stuff.
No, the Grigas are tuaca.
As surprising as it is, it's actually the Archillian Prince puppet that wows audiences the most. I think that's because there's something really amazing about seeing a puppet that small. And I can't deny that there's some delightful charm in the idea of a small alien piloting a human disguise. Of course, CGI animation effects are used too, but this never takes away from or ruins the animatronic puppetry. CGI was only used when the puppets reached a physical limit, like when the worms need to walk away or Mikey the alien has to lunge towards a cop. To conclude, Men in Black is a staple of 90s Hollywood blockbusters. The film embraces its own science fiction imagination while also giving us one of the most endearing movie partnerships to date. It's cool and hip, but also has a fantastic dry sense of humor. Not to mention, Men in Black breaks all the predictable conventions of action buddy movies and alien invasion films, making everything very unpredictable and unusual. So, what do you think of the first Men in Black movie? Let me know in the comment section below. I've been Jamboriki and I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, then feel free to like, subscribe and share. Also, please consider supporting me by making a monthly pledge to my Patreon in return for awesome rewards. Thank you. So, what am I going to be reviewing in the next episode of Puppet Panic? Well, I think it's time we headed over to Mushroom Kingdom. Or New York City in this case. Cheerio, folks.